Disrespect cuts deep. It stirs emotions, triggers reactions, and makes us want to fight back, defend ourselves, or demand justice. But the truth is, the most powerful response isn't shouting, arguing, or seeking revenge. It's silence. Because silence speaks louder than words. It unsettles people more than any argument ever could. When someone disrespects you, their goal is to get a reaction out of you, to provoke a response that validates their actions. But when you stay quiet, you strip them of that power. You force them to sit with their own behavior, to reflect on their words, and to realize they didn't get what they wanted from you. Silence is not weakness, it's restraint, it's control, and it's a statement that says, I refuse to let your words dictate my emotions. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't react, because that's the person who remains in control of themselves, their emotions, and their future. When you respond with silence, you communicate self-respect without wasting a single breath. You shift the dynamic entirely, making the one who disrespected you question themselves rather than feel victorious. And that is a power they never saw coming. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction. They want you to lash out, argue, or defend yourself because that gives them validation. It feeds their ego. But when you remain silent, you force them into an uncomfortable space, self-reflection. Suddenly, they don't have your reaction to justify their behavior. They don't get the emotional response they were hoping for. And that silence, it unsettles them. It makes them question themselves. Because deep down, disrespect is often a projection of insecurity. People disrespect others to feel powerful, superior, or in control. When you don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you flustered, their plan backfires. They're left wondering, why didn't they react? Why do they seem so unbothered? That's the power of silence. It reveals who's truly in control. And let's be clear, this isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending disrespect doesn't hurt. It's about shifting the power dynamic. When you stay quiet, you show that their words don't define you, their actions don't control you, and their disrespect doesn't shake your confidence. Instead of playing their game, you let them sit with their own insecurity, and nothing is more uncomfortable than that. Think of your energy as a currency, something precious that you can't afford to waste. When you respond to disrespect, you're spending that energy. And the question is it worth it? Most of the time it's not. Because people who dish out disrespect are looking for something, attention, validation, or just a reaction that proves they got under your skin. When you stay silent, you deny them that satisfaction. You refuse to waste your time and energy on someone who doesn't deserve it. Instead, you reserve your power for things that actually matter: your growth, your peace, your success. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're smart. It means you understand that some battles aren't worth fighting, especially when the person throwing insults isn't even on your level. There's a reason successful people don't engage in petty drama. They know their energy is too valuable, and so is yours. Let them talk. Let them assume they've won, because in the end, the one who controls their emotions is always the one who comes out on top. Silence has a way of reflecting people's true nature back at them. When someone disrespects you and you don't respond, you hold up a mirror to their behavior. Suddenly they have to sit with what they just said or did without the distraction of an argument, without your emotional reaction, to shift the focus away from them. And that's when the discomfort sets in. They start questioning themselves. Did I go too far? Why didn't they react? Do they know something I don't? Your silence makes them second guess their own actions, their own words, and their own insecurities. You're not just ignoring them, you're making them deal with themselves. And for people who thrive on disrespecting others, that's the last thing they want. They expect pushback, they expect confrontation, but when they're met with nothing, they're forced to sit in the weight of their own negativity. And more often than not, they end up exposing themselves for who they really are: petty, insecure, and desperate for attention. Let your silence be the mirror that reveals their true reflection. Every time you engage in a verbal battle, you risk being seen as part of the problem. It doesn't matter who started it. Once you react, people will only remember the argument, not the cause. But when you stay quiet after disrespect, you maintain your dignity. You don't give anyone the chance to twist the narrative, to make it seem like you were at fault, because here's the truth: the loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. In fact, the ones who remain composed in the face of disrespect are often the ones who command the most respect. When people see that you don't lower yourself to petty disputes, they take notice. They recognize your self-control, your maturity, and your unwillingness to engage in meaningless drama. Silence keeps your reputation intact. It shows that you are in control, that you don't let small-minded people dictate your emotions. And in a world where people are quick to judge and even quicker to spread negativity, protecting your image isn't just smart, it's necessary. Let others waste their breath. Your silence will say everything that needs to be said. Every act of disrespect is a test of your patience, your composure, and your ability to control what you can, your reaction. When someone disrespects you, they are watching closely, waiting to see if they can manipulate your emotions. The moment you lash out, they win. You confirm that they have power over your mood, over your state of mind. But when you stay quiet, you pass the test. You show that their words or actions don't shake you. You prove that your self-worth isn't dictated by anyone else's behavior. Staying silent isn't about being passive, it's about being strategic. It's about understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, and that true strength is shown in restraint, not retaliation. Think about the most powerful people you admire. Do they react emotionally to every bit of negativity thrown their way? No. They stay focused, they stay composed, and they let their success speak for itself. Silence isn't just a response, it's a statement that says, I am untouchable. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And one of the quickest ways to gain it is through silence. When you don't react to disrespect, you communicate something powerful. I will not be controlled by your words or actions. That level of self-discipline makes people think twice before trying to belittle you again. Why? Because they see that their tactics don't work on you. They realize that you're not easily rattled, that you won't stoop to their level. And over time, that silence forces them to respect you. Even if they never admit it, in life, people push boundaries to see where you'll break. The ones who break easily are treated as weak, but those who remain unshaken, they gain an unspoken authority. When you handle disrespect with silence, you send a message that says, I choose my battles wisely, and you are not worth my energy. And that alone earns you more respect than any argument ever could. Every interaction is a power exchange. When someone disrespects you, they are trying to take control, to put you on the defensive, to make you react, to shift the focus onto your response rather than their behavior. But when you stay silent, you don't give them that power. Instead, you take it back. Suddenly, they are the ones left feeling uneasy. They are the ones wondering what you're thinking, questioning whether they made a mistake. The silence makes them uncomfortable because it puts the focus back on them. It forces them to deal with their own words, their own negativity, without the distraction of a heated response. And that's when the balance shifts. You become the one in control, because the one who reacts the least always holds the most power. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a strategy. It forces the other person to sit with their own disrespect, to feel the weight of their own actions. And in that space of discomfort, they often realize that they've lost the upper hand. At the end of the day, your peace is worth more than proving a point. Engaging in conflict, even when you're right, drains your energy. It fills your mind with negativity, disrupts your focus, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of reaction instead of progress. But silence keeps you centered. It allows you to walk away with your dignity intact without letting someone else's words affect your emotional state. The truth is, not everyone deserves a response. Some people thrive on creating chaos, on pulling others into their negativity. But when you refuse to participate, you protect yourself. You guard your mental space. You stay in control of your emotions, your energy, and your overall well-being. Silence is the ultimate form of emotional discipline. It's the difference between letting disrespect take up space in your mind and choosing to move forward without letting it touch you. When you prioritize your peace over the need to react, you win every time. The best response to disrespect isn't words, it's results. Nothing silences disrespect faster than undeniable success. When you focus on improving yourself instead of proving a point, you elevate beyond the negativity. You show that their words have no power over you, that their attempts to bring you down only fuel your drive to rise higher. Because here's the truth: the loudest revenge is silent progress. While they waste their energy trying to provoke you, you're building, growing, and winning, and one day they'll look up and realize that while they were busy trying to get a reaction, you were busy becoming unstoppable. Silence isn't about weakness. It's about wisdom. It's about knowing that the best way to shut down disrespect is to succeed so greatly that they have no choice but to respect you. So don't waste your breath. Don't waste your energy. Let your actions speak so loudly that your silence becomes the most powerful statement of all.